have been in such a slump. I literally don't want to do stuff. I don't want to get out of the house. I love it here. It's so comfy. And I think a lot of it is all this feeling behind and not successful, but then like, what is success? And I've just been feeling so stuck creatively and disappointed in myself. It's just like all this yucky stuff. And I've been trying to like document my life and share my life through videos more, but then it's so vulnerable and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's vulnerable to show your life through a journey of, hey, we're figuring it out together, and do I know if things will work out? No, I don't, but we're just gonna hope for the best and keep doing stuff and keep showing up. Over the last few months, I've been traveling a lot, and when you're traveling, it's easy to be in the moment because you're constantly moving, doing things. There's new emotions, you see new places, meet new people, everything's just so exciting. But that's only like 10 or 15% of our lives. Real life is on a way slower pace. It's a lot of mundane moments of our everyday life. It's balance of life and work. It's creating disciplines and habits. It's about keeping up with family and friendships. And with that, it's easy to lose excitement, I guess, or vision. Or in my case, I just don't know where I'm going or what I want. Or am I supposed to be more present? Is that my issue? I don't know. I think in general, I'm a person who have always been more fearful of the future, and it's just someone who I don't want to be, and I want to fight against that, because essentially this fear just paralyzes me to do or try anything, and it just robs me of my joy and my life. I hit this kind of low point or this feeling of being stuck every few months, and so I know this is a time where I need to reevaluate my life and the vision and the things I'm passionate about and just the things God says about me and says to me. So I do need to refocus my heart and my mind and remind myself of the truth and what are some lies that I'm believing, and then after that I can actually start taking some practical steps. I'm honestly just super grateful that I have wise friends in my life that I trust to speak into my life. So we are going to ask for some word of advice from them because I need to be reminded of the truth and all the good stuff. I've been feeling pretty stuck and just like visionless and not creative at all, feeling behind, and I just realized how it's like affecting me in ways of like, I don't want to be around people, I just want to stay at home and I don't want to do stuff. But then I realized that it's like, okay, that's not a solution. Like, that's not something I should be like sitting too long in. And so the best way to do that, at least what works for me a lot, is start to meet up with friends and they remind me of some truths. What are some things that pulls you out of your rut?
I think as creatives as well, or just humans in general, it's like we need each other. We are made for community. I mean, we're made for connection. And I think the very core of like who we are as humans, as people, is that we want to be seen, we want to be noticed. And what more beautiful way to be seen and noticed than like sharing with others?
So would you say one of the things that pulls you out is just like getting vulnerable?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's so easy to shell away. It's so easy to like hide in your shell, to isolate. Like my natural tendency too is like to run away. Yeah, I think for me a big part of it is like, it's called the honesty tool. If you can't be honest to yourself about how you're feeling or how you're going through the emotions and just really kind of like lamenting and letting yourself process things and feel things out, then how can you be honest to God?
Well,
you know, and then therefore how could you be honest to others? So community is a big part of it. Community and honesty and vulnerability. And because when you share with others, you invite them into the process. You invite them in to say, hey, here's the door to my heart. I allow you to come in. I allow you to speak things in. But there's certain people you should be transparent with. And then I would say the smaller minority, or just like the smaller group, should be the people that you're vulnerable with. Yeah, the inner circle.
You want me to like play something?
I'm gonna interrupt your guitar session. What did you say to me when I was literally in the moment of it?
I know for me, when I feel in a funk, I tend to withdraw from the Lord and try to like work it out on my own. But like it's so key to stay like rooted and grounded in first His love, but then also just like abiding and like going to the Lord and asking Him questions of like, God, I feel this way. What do I do? Like, what should I do today? Like simple steps. And that makes it not feel as like crazy and big, but so possible to be like, okay, Lord, we're in this together and you're going to show me the way out.
What is like a good truth reminder that just encourages you in the moment?
I think I have to remember that it's not about the destination. It's very much about the journey and who I'm becoming in the journey of the destination till I get to the destination. And so remembering like, why the heck am I doing what I'm doing? I think vision is everything. Vision is important. It's easy to be in the low moments and being like, nothing I'm doing matters. Like, why just do it? Like, and to just automatically count all of the like cons, like all the like bad things. But I think it's important in the more stable and high moments to write down your why, for one, and two, remember that like if God has called you to do this, then of course you're going to have opposing like moments or thoughts or whatever from the enemy that's going to try to stop you from doing it, because he knows it's what you're supposed to be doing. Honestly, when I'm in those moments, I just go to Lord and being like, I need you just to remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Or it's like, you know, even like feeling like a failure. I'm like, I'm in my mid-20s. Like, should I have succeeded in more things than you know, what I have behind me?
No, I totally get that. And like, I feel like I think that not often, but I feel like that too. But I have to remember that success looks different for everybody. Honestly, for me too, when I'm in a slump, it's always because I'm comparing. I'm like, it's always like somebody else is already doing it. Somebody else is doing it better. But then I have to remember that like maybe there's like one person out there that hasn't seen what I have, you know, hasn't seen it. And like maybe it's actually going to help them. Creating too, it's about vulnerability and giving up control and allowing yourself to be seen. And vulnerability is a huge thing, and we want everything to be like, at least for me too, like cookie cutter perfect, look great and everything. But like people can't relate with cookie cutter perfect.
Good word.
Okay, something that someone told me recently, so I'm totally just stealing their advice, is they said, let yourself get excited. And I think that sometimes we can get so caught up in the swirl of like, what am I doing? Am I making the right decision? What's the right thing to do, that we just forget how to like get excited about things. And I'm a visionary, and I know that you are too. And I know for me, something that really helps is just like mood boarding, vision boarding, like looking for inspiration from people. Like I love a mood board.
She loves PowerPoints.
I love PowerPoints. I love mood boarding. I mean, literally I just go on Pinterest. I'll scroll through things, like we were just talking about Instagram. Sometimes if I don't really know what to post, I'll just go and find people whose posts I really like, or Instagrams I think are cool, or like the way that they take their photos, or I'll find people who inspire me, and I will try to mimic them in some way. So I think it's just when you're in a slump, it's just so easy. It's so caught up in what you should do, and we just don't give ourselves space to get excited.
I think I just have no vision, and I feel like a failure. I'm terrified of the future. That's paralyzing me. I don't know what to do. The world is a scary place, period.
That's all dumb. It's okay to do it afraid. Like you, I used to be so held back by fear, and what I would do is I'd almost overcompensate every time I felt fear. I'd be like, there's something wrong, I can't feel fear, push past it, break it off, repent for it, and just like and it was like I was still focusing on the fear, versus allowing fear to be an emotion that's coming up. I think it's okay when you feel afraid to go, okay, why do I feel afraid? Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna fail. Well, what does success look like? Or how would I define success in this? Like you have to begin to ask better questions of yourself. And I think that it's okay to still do things afraid. I think it's okay to move forward in fear. I think it's okay to say like, dang, I don't know if this is the right move. I don't know if this is the right step, but I have to move forward, because if you don't take a step forward, you're gonna just kind of stay in this spot constantly. So in a slump, and I think it's okay to take a step back and pause and recognize the slump and recognize like how you got into the slump, because there might be some ways in which you're viewing yourself, viewing the world, viewing God, that you need to kind of undo and give yourself grace to be in that. But I think when you allow yourself to get excited about something like the future, or get excited about, you know, like, oh, well, this could lead to this. Like, you're such a visionary. This could lead to this. And if I do this, then this could, like, let yourself get excited about those things, because that's going to drive you forward. But then when you feel afraid, feel the fear, but continue to move forward in it, because at the end of the day, you have to move forward. You have to, unless you can't be defined by your fear, held back by your fear, and sometimes you just have to push through it. So that's my advice.
Love it. Are you gonna rebuke me?
Partially.
Oh my god.
No, I won't rebuke you on camera.
I mean, you have permission to do it. I'll cry about it later.
No. Okay, I think the first thing that I'm thinking that's like simple is like whenever you feel like things are mundane and you're like stuck there, just go back to the simple gospel, because there's nothing mundane about like what Jesus did for the life that you have, and so what are you gonna do with it? So I'm like, I think about it more and more, and I'll make it about me, because it does feel harsh. I'm like, seriously. Me saying that I'm like upset or like stuck with a season that's mundane felt like entitlement, because I feel like entitled to something more extravagant than like what Jesus has already done in the gospel. And so I'm like, oh, like I there's like this expectation, which kind of ties into the comparison thing of like you see everything else going on, but this expectation of like such extravagant like things happening in your life, where when you look at the gospel and what's already happened, like, is that not extravagant enough? Well, here's another thing. Someone asked, I think it was a speaker that asked this, there's like, what's the last thing God asked you to do, or like asked of you, and have you done it? Like, have you said yes to it? It's kind of like honing in on baby steps, but it's like, okay, if there is something, like, and maybe you're just in a season where you feel like, oh, there's no vision, God's not asking anything of me, like, I don't know where to go, but maybe there is something that he's asked that you can look back on and be like, oh wait, I haven't done that, maybe that's why I'm not seeing all this vision in front of me.
That's good.
It's okay to go through moments like these where you don't have things figured out, because that's just how life works. There are moments of uncertainties that are maybe there to redirect us, or slow us down to reevaluate where we're heading. And what's most important is that we don't have to be alone in this. Jesus wants to walk this walk with us.
I don't know what to cheer.